Hello everyone, and welcome back to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is episode 36, and this will be our ending dissection episode. And I did this with Final Fantasy VII Remake, where I finished the game, and I had a pretty crazy and raw reaction to it. And that was like the episode where you experience the ending, and you just spew out your genuine feelings, and you're overwhelmed, and you're not able to focus, right? You're just kind of going, wow, they've just thrown everything at me. Because we finished the game, the main story, last episode, and today we get to sit down and replay the ending, because it has just been running through my mind constantly, and without having experienced the far reaches of the internet's opinions, because I'm sure that there is very conflicting ones out there, especially with how similar the discourse was with the first part of the game, with Remake. I am going to look at this game once again and have it sift through, being less overwhelmed and caught up in the moment, and we can dissect it. So episode 35 is like an experience the ending, and episode 36 is like dissect the ending and actually go through it, because I immediately had some thoughts that I wasn't able to convey in the episode itself due to just being massively overwhelmed, that you start to like play all those scenes back in your head, and you can like find the interpretations for those, and you're like, oh my god, like one of the biggest things to really hang on to is the way that like I saw Aerith being her Advent Children's self, where she'd died, and it just like connects with that thing where she's still there for him, you know, and they can still communicate, and it worked out quite clearly for me. But you can also see there's an element where he is not processing the loss as a result, because he's fought alongside Aerith against Sephiroth in this sort of white space, and then, you know, she fades away, like everyone's waiting, you know. Cloud's still experiencing Aerith here, and then while everyone else is clearly emotional and processing this loss, we never got to see the water burial. We never got to see Cloud lay her down to rest. And he's just stone-faced. He's just like, all right, cool, let's go. And then he starts to like think about it and process the thing, and it glitches out, and there she is. And he's like, oh, okay, everything's fine. So he's also not processing the loss yet, because he's so mentally busted, you know? He's seeing the end of the world crack in the sky, and nobody else is, and he's got his soldier intuition, you know? He's clearly a little bit cooked. So I think you can interpret it in multiple ways, that Cloud has some sort of connection to alternate timeline stuff, where he can see the crack in the sky, he can communicate with Aerith, and like when Sephiroth failed to stab and kill Aerith in this timeline because of the event that he had created here, this reunion of worlds, the convergence, is like swap the timeline over so you could still win, you know, where it goes to the original timeline where she gets stabbed, because you can see when it starts doing the like static shifts between Cloud crying and Cloud talking with no words. That's like him giving his speech to Sephiroth in the original, when he's like Aerith will no longer laugh, smile, or cry, you know, all of that like speech that he gives to Sephiroth, and then he just kind of laughs, and he's like, and then he goes, because you are, and then shoots into the sky, Jenova fight, and then after the fight, he's like a puppet, you know. And they changed that here, where he's like crying, Sephiroth is being like, do not weep, your tears are hollow, you know, just going into that and laying it on it that he's a puppet, and then the Jenova transformation happens, you know. Just so you know, very normal. But because of this convergence reunion event, we're seeing worlds falling in on top of each other. Sephiroth gave his whole explanation to Cloud before, like looking at all of these worlds that were created because fate was defied. And you've got this crazy Sephiroth that seems like super knowledgeable of everything that's happening. But it begs the question, where's the Sephiroth that can understand that he's not, you know, the son of Jenova, and that he was just a very unfortunate child of Hojo. And, you know, just an experiment, his soldier creation. It's very interesting. There's even then, there's still so much to pick apart, but that was like one of the core things that you can really see how it's quite open to different levels of interpretation. People thinking that like he's just seeing things, or like the timeline connection, failing to process the loss, and it's kind of like bits and pieces of all of them. Cloud has some sort of connection to the multiverse, if you will, because like he dreams, and he was dreaming with Aerith in the different timeline, or one of them, you know, so he's got like a connection there. He's interacted with Zack now as well, and there was all of that going on. Zack wants to unite things again. So there's still like a lot that is yet to see in part 3 that they're going to build on. But that was one of the main things that I wanted to talk about before we got into the ending, to really kind of pull it apart again with all of these crazy sequences. But I'm still on the same screen where I cannot leave the main menu, because this is just where we ended the game, and I can't like load a game or anything like that. We can only go into chapter selection now. So basically we want to replay the ending, so we're going to do chapter 14. You have like extra settings. You can choose to have your materials auto-collected, which is nice. You can actually choose to skip Zack's story, like his little cutscene beats, and changing your companions. And because chapter 12 has a bonus one, because in the stats, how it has 1 out of 5 for chapter 8, but 1 out of 6 for chapter 12, because there's one for Kate, Sith, Vincent, and Sid, which is such an amazing surprise. I can't wait to see all of the others. So I'm eventually going to replay these as well and check out the different conclusions and everything. But for today, this is a dissection episode based on chapter 14. So, entrusting Cloud with her white materia, Aerith ventures alone into the depths of the sleeping forest, determined to put a stop to Sephiroth's plans. Now, this is also something to think about, is Sephiroth has been pursuing Aerith across timelines and goes, this is where you've been hiding, right? And is tracking her down with the white materia. That's why he's like going into the church, and like he's finding this Aerith that talks and acts differently to the one that's in Rebirth. And Aerith is like, I don't know why my materia is like colorless. It's like empty. And we have this situation, right, where Cloud saves Aerith from getting stabbed, which I don't know if that is the interpretation or not, on Sephiroth saying 7 seconds till the end. What will you do with it? Time enough for you, perhaps? Like 7 seconds that it takes for Sephiroth to make his descent before Cloud makes that choice and actually saves Aerith, actually does save her, but Cloud fails to, you know, predict that Sephiroth has obviously got to switch the timeline on him. And when Aerith and Sephiroth fight with Cloud, Aerith says, I saw what you did for me. And that's the Aerith that has like survived. You know, she's the one that lived. You know, that's how I interpret that, I think, where Aerith saw that he saved her, but because of the timeline switch, still dies, you know? And this Aerith that entrusts Cloud with the white materia is like, it's okay, it's just about saving you guys, you know? Like, I've done my part, take this. Because Aerith is doing her prayer, which is just like, I just want to save my friends, please show me how. That's all she wants to do. Like, she's okay with her sacrifice if everything else lives and Sephiroth is stopped, you know? And the fact that there is like this timeline hot potato with the white materia to like bring it back so Aerith can get it and do the prayer is nuts. It's absolutely nuts. And it's crazy because this game, Rebirth, has basically played out almost one-to-one with the original sequence of events with expansion. And then there's an extra amount of just crazy that's layered on top, especially at the end. But the sequences in the game that play out are pretty damn close to the original. There's a couple of things that are rearranged and a couple of things that are taken out. Like, the Temple of the Ancients is somewhere else. There's no Rocket Town. There's no Bone Village. You don't have to dig for the Lunar Harp. You're just in the Sleeping Forest instead of waking up elsewhere, you know? It's very different. So, we can select quest progression. So, if we replay chapter 14, it says you can retain or restore. So you can polish off any unresolved ones, or you can previously completed quest data will carry over. All completed quest data. I don't get the difference. Previously completed and all completed quest data. And you'll need to restart all unfinished quests. The good news is the only unfinished quest that we had was that side quest for the Gold Cup with the Chocobo stuff, and we haven't even done anything with that yet. I don't think we need to restore everything, but we'll retain it, and we'll stay on our same difficulty, because I'm going to do a hard mode playthrough all the way through. I'm not going to just do hard mode right at the end.
Almost there.
So we're going to go into chapter 14, End of the World, and I can do a little bit more talking over the cutscenes now because, you know, less listening is needed. I can do more analysis. Hojo's just so excited. Shinra needs to broaden their horizons, he says.
Perhaps I could help.
Hojo wants to make Sung a soldier, infuse him with Jenova cells.
I think you have enough material. Tell me, Professor, how would you explain the phenomena we witnessed at the temple?
It would be premature to draw any scientific conclusions. But one thing is abundantly clear. We at Shinra could stand to dream far bigger.
Dude, he's gonna be insanely grotesque in part 3, that's for sure.
To the right,
And this is interesting. This stuff's interesting.
along with a cure for Cloud.
What I like about this that is really, really neat, for a scene like this specifically, is this is showing the very minor fork in the road things that can butterfly effect and change timelines. And it's very interesting because we get kind of drip-fed Zack's story at multiple points, and it's so short and sweet, you know? And I can see why, because they're trying to sow those seeds and then pay it off at the end. You can't just completely ignore it and then have all of it go crazy at the end. Like, it does show you that there's this stuff going on in the background that has your brain thinking. I mean, it would be incredible if they were able to provide us a full chapter that was just without interruption, Zack doing stuff. I think that would be so nice. That would be incredible. I'd really appreciate that, because you could get an expansion on things, maybe more combat with him, give him a little more story. I'd eat up a full chapter of Zack doing more stuff instead of like these small, tiny intervals. But that's because I am starving and I will accept all of the story that they want to give me because I'm just digesting all of it at the moment. And what's incredible about a moment like this is when it starts to really lay it on of the fact that the Zack that we've been seeing throughout the previous chapters is consistent, but now we're at a point where Zack's making choices, and we're seeing how he's in this constant state of defying his own fate, you know? So every choice that he makes almost splits a new timeline because Zack's not meant to be alive. So he's like, cool, I'm going to go to the Shinra building to meet Hojo. I'm going to go see Biggs to prevent the Reactor 6 bombing, and that splits off into two things. And you can see that there's the timeline, obviously, where he ends up at the Shinra building, he goes after Cloud, and Aerith's bow tie is around his hand. And then the one where he checks in with Biggs, and Biggs just gets unceremoniously offed, just shot by a Shinra soldier, and then Zack leaves, and I'm like, oh man, they gave us Biggs being alive just for him to just fall like that. Just so unceremonious. See you later, Biggs. And it sucks. It's just showing that all of these little fragmented, split worlds are just doomed to fail in almost all of their aspects, while there's this prime timeline that Sephiroth's messing with by doing his reunion convergence. It's actually quite incredible how they've been able to recontextualize reunion as not just like reuniting with, you know, Jenova at the Northern Crater, but just this full-on, like, it's a reunion of worlds, of timelines, everything converges. It's crazy talk. It really is crazy talk. And on the topic of Zack, like, if I was to say what I would prefer in Final Fantasy in terms of this storyline, is I prefer a Final Fantasy VII storyline where Zack is dead and Cloud is the living legacy, and then Cloud remembers everything and it breaks his mind, and we have all of that stuff of him needing to get put back together again. I prefer that storyline. However, in Remake, they made it clear that he survived, and I've had 4 years to be at peace with that and accept that they're going to do it, you know? So I'm like, all right, when it's happening in Rebirth that he's alive and he's doing things and it's this split timeline thing, I'm like, multiverse, parallel universe, you know, different decisions, butterfly effect stuff, whatever, like, as long as it doesn't affect the prime timeline, right? Oh no. Zack literally fist bumped his way into Cloud's reality, which is so Zack. Like, if that's not Zack, I don't know what is. He's just like, oh, where am I? And he's like straight into it. Sephiroth! And honestly, it's just so hype and so fan servicey that it's very exciting to play, and it's such a fun little sequence, and it is at this edge of creation scenario where everything's possible. It's mimicking that end of Final Fantasy VII original and end of Final Fantasy VII Remake, when they're in this nothing space, and it does the same camera angles flicking between the characters and Sephiroth, and then they fight. It's just really cool that in Remake, it's a cutscene fight, and then Sephiroth's like, no, not yet, and ends it. And then in Rebirth's version, we're fighting with Zack, and they're going to do it again for Part 3. And hopefully that'll be the true and proper end to Sephiroth. But yeah, obviously I prefer Zack being dead in the story, but I've made my peace with it. They're doing something else. This is the remake of Final Fantasy VII. They are remaking, not just doing a remake of the game, but a remake of the story as a meta-narrative. And that rubs a lot of people the wrong way, and a lot of people are blaming Nomura, as usual, but it's like, he didn't even write the thing. So it is what it is. But I'm excited for this new narrative and this new story. And like I said at the beginning of the Rebirth playthrough, open-minded experience. You know, if I don't like things, I'll be honest. And if I have a raw experience with it, like I did with Remake, I'll be honest about that too, you know? And luckily for me, I loved it, and I'm feeling quite happy about it, even still thinking about it. And there are definitely elements I could allow myself to be critical on and think, you know what? I don't really think that that's great. But the original game is always there and it's untarnished, and I love playing the original game, and it'll never go away, you know? So the fact that they're able to do something new and show us a brand new take on it while still replaying these events from the original game as in such faithful ways, and then they add a bunch of new stuff and then add a bunch of weird stuff. It's just like, I do definitely empathize and understand people that just want their Final Fantasy VII original but remade with better graphics. I just think this is much more exciting because there's so much more to talk about and be excited by, instead of like cool. It played out exactly how I expected. Now I'm going to sit here and wait 4 years for the next part to play out exactly how I expected. And I know that for a lot of people, they would be so satisfied with that because they just want to replay the original, but looking like this, you know? And tough luck, apparently. That's it. That's it. But yeah, I'm on board for part 3, whatever they want to choose. But again, as we dissect this, there will be some word vomity segments as I just kind of spew out my interpretations, but that is what this episode is for. I also want to state that because this is a dissection and we're going to be talking about everything, we will be talking about everything. So I'm obviously going to be talking about what could happen in the next part of the game. I'm going to talk about the original game, the compilation, all of it, because I feel that you have to. Like, if you want to talk about what's actually going on in the Final Fantasy VII Remake storyline, you can't just be oblivious to stuff, and you can't ignore stuff, because it's clearly meta in that it addresses the compilation of 7 while also being its own thing. It's this weird mixture of both, because there's so many people that are playing these for the first time. So this is their first exposure to elements of Final Fantasy VII, which I just find so crazy. And then there are people that have played everything, or even at least just played and are knowledgeable about the original and are experiencing this. So there's so many different experiences to have through this storyline, which is good because it means that people who post their playthroughs online, there's such a variety of people to watch and choose from. Like, you can watch people that have experienced everything in the compilation. You can see people that are playing the remakes for the first time and get like a brand new perspective on like how they're interpreting things or like how they feel about things. And it's quite exciting in that way. But let's continue the cutscene. We'll watch this fork in the road happen, and then we'll see when I next decide to spew out some discussion.
To the left, Reactor 6, which will get blown up along with Biggs unless I stop him.
His hair was long and gray.
Of all the people.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy for Zack to even like experience, dude.
One more question. Does Aerith... does she have feelings for Cloud?
Yeah, she likes him.
She does, huh? Can't say I saw that coming.
'Cause you weren't there.
So that's also such an interesting little tidbit, because this is the timeline converging thing where like Aerith rescued Marlene in Remake, and they had this moment of, huh? And she's like Marlene got stuff from our omniscient Aerith that she shouldn't have, and she now, in the alternate timeline, that still carries across, you know? So she's able to talk about how Cloud and Aerith and what's happening, and then she sees Aerith's fate, which is crazy. And then, I like that it ties in with the original game where Marlene is in the room with Barrett, and Marlene's going, Aerith likes you, to Cloud, you know, calling him a dummy. Because Zack's just like, hang on, Cloud and I just walked into this place. So how does Biggs talk about Cloud like he knows him, you know, and how does Marlene talk about Cloud and Aerith like they know them? And it's just so interesting. And then for Zack, it's even more just like mind-blowing that he's like, wait, Sephiroth of all people is like destined to kill Aerith, but Aerith was just this cute little flower girl that was my girlfriend. Like, why does Sephiroth want her? Like, he's missing so much context, and there's so much going on, and he's so unbothered by it. He's just like, all right, yeah, okay. And then at the end, when he's like, maybe worlds can reunite again. What's to say they can't reunite again? Like, he's already got his heart set on doing that. Like, he's just our little golden retriever with his heart and mind set on one thing and one thing only, and he goes, I don't sweat any of that confusing stuff. I'm just gonna keep on surviving. We keep on trucking.
Hang in there, Cloud. I got you.
I love that he has this bike, and then when we see him next, he's on the goddamn proper bike. And there you go, you're watching the butterfly effect. You're seeing the fork in the road.
You're in here.
The other timeline.
And it's not like we have much left. Up and at him, soldier.
And then the timing of this is nuts.
What is this? Are we?
We could call it a homecoming. Or homeward bound, maybe? Let's just call it a dream.
And that's important because Cloud is saying it's not death, it's a homecoming. And he's saying that every time he's doing his little Sephiroth, I'm killing people. It's not death, it's a homecoming. And Aerith being like, we could call it a homecoming or homeward bound because they literally fell, you know? They fucking fell. It's like, so they're sort of in an in-between where they like almost have died. But then it's like sort of establishing that, you know, if you die in one timeline, you wake up in another. So how like Aerith dies in one timeline but exists in another. Zack dies in one, he's alive in another. Like, I don't know. It's...
My dream, to be precise.
And then be like, we'll just call it a dream.
Shh. Just play along for a bit, okay?
And it was fun because I was like, okay, we're doing the thing that happens after the Temple of the Ancients when we're in Aerith's little dream thing and she's talking with Cloud in the Sleeping Forest and saying that she has to go stop Sephiroth, but this is that version. But then what I love is that they do both. It was really nice in that way. And then you get all of your little subtle clues that we're not in the timeline that we've been seeing in all of the Zack chapters, because Cloud isn't in his soldier getup from
Let's take a walk.
Zack's
Okay.
story. He's got his pauldron.
One thing. You have to promise not to look up. Because I'm pretty sure you won't like what you see.
You know I'm gonna have to look now, right?
Right. There I go, putting my foot in my mouth. When will I ever learn?
Now, she did that intentionally. You can tell with her whole delivery is she says that to get him to look up. So it's interesting.
Hey, let's check it out. Come on. Ta-da! Can I have one? Can I? Please?
Which one do you want?
Whichever one you pick.
Why are you acting so weird?
Because Cloud is Prime Timeline Cloud, the one that we've been playing as. Like, this is him, and he's in this dream. He's in Aerith's dream. Aerith puffing her cheeks. Like, that's what why Cloud is like, why are you acting different? Because this is a different Aerith, you know? And then it's weird to think about the fact that obviously Cloud doesn't have his Buster Sword here because Zack has brought them both here and he's currently out and doing things. It's just kind of like this really strange sequence that as soon as Zack makes his little fork in the road decision, Aerith and Cloud wake up at this moment and then do their little date.
Well, you are. This isn't you.
This isn't you.
Me, I'd probably say, this piece.
I don't know. Actually, I'm gonna let him choose.
We're gonna choose the stamp this time.
Everything is free. But remember, it's one per person.
This is it. After much cajoling, Cloud is about to give his very first gift to Aerith. Only question is, which one will he choose?
And I love this hint at the very first mention of the stamp figurine being a whole different dog straight away, different to the one that we see as Zack, different to the one in the Prime timeline. And then we go to Biggs in the reactor, and he's eating chips from another different stamp. It's an effective image to place you, to anchor you in that timeline, to go, okay, we're somewhere else, you know?
That one.
Ah, I'm so sorry. I meant everything.
The same answer no matter which one you pick.
Tell you what, I've got something else I think you'll love.
Every time. The reunion flower.
Man.
You know, that's actually pretty neat. Perfect, even.
You kidding me?
I'll miss these moments. Thank you both.
I wonder if it's possible to get picked for the photo as well. We're gonna have to choose a different pose.
That way. Come on.
Because we're not actually sure if these choices change anything at the moment. Now we picked the stamp ones. I'm going to pick Cosmo Candy this time.
Feel free to take whatever you'd like. Ah, but only one per person.
Then we better choose wisely.
Give me my Cosmo Candy this time.
I'll take one of those.
Then I'll have one of those.
All right.
So she chooses different as well.
Though these aren't the only treats I've got, you know. How about my latest creation?
Really? Let's try it.
Sure.
Go on, enjoy.
Both of their reactions are so funny.
Figured I'd pull out all the stops for my last hurrah. Guess I pulled out one too many.
No, it just needs a little sugar, maybe.
Yeah, and take out whatever's making my tongue tingle.
It sounds to me like I need to start over. If only we all had more time, am I right?
Pretty sure I only asked to meet with Professor Hojo. Not a whole platoon.
Yeah, okay, so you can see...
Whatever. The world's about to end anyway.
Oh, I just missed it.
Got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Right behind him, you just miss it, which is annoying me because I only just glimpsed it. I swear there's a little stamp image behind him, but it's cool seeing him on this bike too. Like, he still just finds it in the Shinra lobby. Zack just doing it on his own.
Coming through, boys!
That's fun. I didn't get to see if that was a stamp or not. It was like blink and you miss it.
So this is where you've been hiding, in a world that has accepted its fate.
Hey, what's that?
Let's go see.
So Cloud being here allows Sephiroth to find her. She's been chilling out asleep this whole time, and then she wakes up. Oh man. It's just like...
As you must.
Fucking Sephiroth, dude. This weird sort of battle between Sephiroth being omniscient with the black materia and Aerith being omniscient with the white materia, and just this battle between the Ancient and Sephiroth, and I love that.
We've been waiting for ages.
We don't have any photos together.
We don't have any either.
Okay, how about you all pose? Cutest looking couple gets their photo taken.
Alright, what are we doing? Do a different pose this time.
Okay, you two. Smile real big for the camera now.
It's showtime. But yeah, I love the concept of it being like Aerith versus Sephiroth in this fight for the planet.
Hold on, Biggs. I'm coming.
There's our pug stamp instead.
What gives? Reactor busted?
So he goes for Biggs, and he doesn't have Aerith's ribbon on his hand.
I'm still sucking away, but the only thing it's pulling up is dirt.
Meaning?
That the life stream's bone dry. Bomb one reactor, bomb them all. Planet's done either way. And so are we.
Run!
That it?
Bomb barely made it through testing. Figures it'd fail for real. What am I still doing here? Why did I have to survive? Look at me. I'm useless. Can't even make a damn bomb.
You're not useless.
For a moment there, I thought my life might have some meaning, but... it doesn't mean shit.
Well, that's where you're wrong. Wanna know why? 'Cause you mean a lot to a lot of people. So come on, man.
Thanks, but... why are you here?
Yeah, about that.
Never mind, I know. Kinda obvious now I think about it. World may be ending and all, but a bombing's still a bombing.
That's part of it too. But mostly, I was worried about you.
That bleeding heart. It'll get you killed.
I don't know. I wanted to take action. Take charge. Take control. To know that I had a choice. That this path, this world was one I chose.
It's so sad that it's not, no matter what. But I love that line of him wanting to take back his life. And then I hate that it just, bam. Like, dude. Sorry, bro, you don't get to take back your life.
Buddy? No. No.
Biggs, get up!
And then it's always the same shot with all of the soldiers.
End of the road, huh? Fate's got one twisted sense of humor. And I'm always the punchline.
but I'm sick of taking its shit! This is my life. I make the rules.
It is great that he has such a he has such a strong will to live that it results in his. It's the same couple, no matter which pose you pick. Boring.
Hey, why'd you pass on us?
Well, for starters, you don't look like you're on a date. More like at a funeral.
Well, I don't think that's true at all.
Just have fun while you can, huh? See ya.
I think that's good for what's actually happening, because it looks like you're dressing for a funeral with what's actually just happened leading up to them getting into this event, plus what's to come as well. And I wonder if it can change if the relationship with Aerith is the highest out of your group. Like if you actually have the strongest bond. I'm not sure. Maybe. But it might just be the same regardless because of what's about to happen, you know?
Now then, where shall we go to next?
Before that, talk to me. What's going on with this place? With you? And please don't play dumb.
All right. I'll tell you when we get to our spot, okay?
Where's that?
You really have to ask? It's one of my most favorite places. Can I make it any more obvious?
It's really interesting because I thought that the spot was going to be the playground. I thought it was going to be where they sit on top of the playground. But it does make sense that it would be where they first met as well, with it being in the church, and that obviously is Aerith's favorite place. But yeah, I was saying it's either going to be one of those two spots, but my brain initially went to the church. Sorry, the slide, not the church.
Cloud.
and then there's a different stamp. There you go. That's just like blink and you miss it thing again, by the way, is just like Johnny's there and he's got a stamp with him. And it's like, sometimes I think, like, I didn't even pick up on that because I went, oh, this is Johnny. And I got distracted by it being Johnny. But now that I'm watching this again, I'm like, it's another stamp.
Biggs.
And it just happens right at the start.
Or Aerith.
Just to show you that all these things are happening separately.
How am I supposed to choose?
All of these dying worlds that Sephiroth is roaming through.
Sephiroth! Hey! You want a piece of me?
No. Not you.
Not you, because he's here for Aerith. He's walking into the church in a different timeline, but the fact that when he walks into the church, he's also where Cloud and Aerith are gives me this interpretation, this feeling that Sephiroth is wandering all of the timelines at once. Where he's able to walk through one here, but see all of them. If that makes sense, that kind of gives me that vibe of him being able to do this. And he can also just be like, bye, controlling my whispers.
It was all you, wasn't it, Sephiroth?
Well, it isn't over yet.
The will to live on this guy is crazy. And the reunion flowers. And this is one of the most important aspects here, this part, because when they're just in the white, in Advent Children, that's how Cloud sees both Aerith and Zack, and they have their little talks. It's in like this limbo space where you're like, is this Cloud having his little heaven moment where he's able to talk to both of them? Is it all in his head, or is he actually experiencing it? And I think that Rebirth adds new context to that. It allows you to see this space and the characters being alive within that space. You know?
I'll find a way. You'll see.
I think the line hits so hard now, even harder than it did before in Advent Children, where Cloud is fighting Sephiroth, and then he has his little pep talk with Zack. And Zack's like, do you want a hand with him? You know, because now they've already fought side by side.
This
you know?
is it, right?
And he's asking if he wants help again.
Bingo.
That was easy.
I told you it was obvious.
Well, you'll have to give me a harder one next time.
Oh? Next time?
I mean, why not?
Yeah. Why not?
Why not? Because Aerith knows that there won't be a next time for her.
At least I know now. Where you and I stand, I mean. Thing is, Cloud, I really like you. But then, like can mean a lot of different things, can't it? Because there's liking, and then there's liking.
Seriously, what's going on? You've been weird all day.
She's struggling to say goodbye, Cloud.
I'm sorry. Whatever happens, don't blame yourself.
See, she knows, and she's fully aware that it's going to happen, because this is our omniscient Aerith, the one who's been hiding from Sephiroth the whole time. She knows how much it's going to hurt this boy.
Thank you. Sorry. I'll be okay.
I love the concept of taking out the hair tie also undoes all the braids at the same time.
But your mom gave that to you.
This isn't about me, though. It's about saving the world. And you.
Because this is the past, and this is like the little timeline shift.
So thank you, Cloud, for everything.
What is this?
Hi, Cloud. This is her, like, white whispers. And then Sephiroth walks in the church and finds her.
Aaron!
And it's in this little space where Sephiroth can, like, send them to the void with the black whispers, and Aerith can send people into the white void with the white whispers. Because these are the white whispers, and they're guiding Cloud back to his original body. And Sephiroth's whisper is trying to grab that white materia and prevent him getting back. And he's like, "Oh, let me just give you a bit of a lesson."
The true nature of reality.
Crazy. Alright, let's see what I can glean from this now.
When the boundaries of fate are breached, new worlds are born. The planet encompasses a multitude of worlds, ever unfolding. Some quickly perish, while others endure. Yet even the most resilient worlds are doomed to fade. Nevertheless, their loss is not to be mourned. For it is not death, but a homecoming that awaits them.
Because everything returns to the planet.
Embrace. All life is as one. All born are bound to her. Should this world be unmade, so too shall her children.
He'd tell you that he only cares about the planet. That he'd do everything in
This is our remake Omniscient Aerith.
But this isn't the way it's supposed to be.
And then we're watching, like, two becoming one here, watching that convergence.
Listen to the planet, Cloud.
And when this is happening, when these inconsistencies or these mergers happen...
Screaming! It's screaming!
Oh, Cloud. I thought you might finally understand.
So that's another thing, is like...
Lend me your strength. Let us defy destiny together.
That's a really important element here, is there's this... When Cloud is having his little staticky moment at the end of Remake, as soon as Sephiroth touches his hand, it goes away. And it just like clears his mind, and he has this "let us defy destiny together," and then Cloud refuses, and then they have their little conflict, because obviously Cloud is so opposed to Sephiroth. And it like makes me wonder how many different Sephiroths we're dealing with at the same time as how many Aeriths that we're dealing with. We've got the Aerith that's hiding out in a timeline with the white materia, and Sephiroth like hunting her. Is there a Sephiroth that has seen all the way through to the end, obviously to his multiple defeats, and that has the true history and the true knowledge of everything in regards to where he comes from, where he's, you know, been infused with Jenova cells. He's not actually the son of Jenova, and he might see things differently and want to do things differently, and he needs Cloud's help to do that, but can't kind of tell him directly, and he's just being like, let's work together. That's a really interesting way to interpret it, because the Sephiroth that we're sort of dealing with at the edge of creation in Remake feels different than the Sephiroth that we're fighting at the end of Rebirth in that same location. They don't have that same attitude. It's very interesting to think of it, but especially when Sephiroth is like embracing him and like wants to kind of have him persist. Like he doesn't, he's like, I will not end, nor will I have you end, he says at the end of Remake. And he's like, the Midgar Zolom is drowning him, and Sephiroth comes and saves him, you know. And obviously we know also are aware of the fact that anytime Sephiroth is appearing through the black-robed figures and having these little moments where he appears for Cloud, none of that has been the real Sephiroth. It's Jenova taking on Sephiroth's form because Sephiroth is chilling in the Northern Crater right now, which is why he keeps doing the "bring me the black materia." And then, like, he never actually gave Sephiroth the black materia because he's only giving it to this husk, to Jenova. He has to give it to Sephiroth properly in order for things to play out, which is what we're going to see in the next part, how that's actually going to be shown. We're going to be like, Sephiroth is hiding up north because we're going for the reunion, baby. And I'll hand over the black materia then, and everything can fall apart. But Jenova is still stringing everything along. However, while we do have that going on, I think that there are parts where we are seeing Sephiroth showing up, where he's like the master of the Arbiters of Fate and the master of these whispers that is separate to Jenova, and it's this one with a different plan in mind. And we can't be sure of any of this stuff until we get to the end of part 3, and hopefully it's one that actually gives us a nice answer to things and doesn't just keep it open for interpretation. I think leaving things open for interpretation in part 1 and 2 is good to like keep us sort of thinking about what's going on until we get to the end of the story, but they need to just answer all of the things and close it up for part 3 to kind of address everything that's going on. And they definitely will. They'll probably leave some things open for that sort of potential Advent Children connections, because they're definitely still linking with elements of Advent Children. I wonder if they'll ever remake Advent Children to be even more in line with what they're putting in here. It would be kind of great to have that, but we'll see. But it's hard to obviously interpret. We only have 2 out of 3 pieces of the puzzle, and we have much more of an idea now than we did in Remake, because in Remake it was all new and surprising, and we're all like, oh, what are they cooking? And then when we get to Rebirth, we sort of have had that time to process and understand that we're doing this full timeline splitting shenanigans with Aerith and Sephiroth. So we're able to consume it a little easier and feel a little more sure of what's happening while still having a healthy amount of questions, you know? But yeah, Sephiroth here was like, oh, Cloud, I was hoping you would have understood by now. You know, I was hoping you'd understand, while Cloud's going, the planet's screaming, you know? And it's not the case, according to Sephiroth.
7 seconds till the end. Time enough for you. Perhaps. But what will you do with it? Let's see.
See, that's such an interesting line.
Cloud. For the future is bright.
Like, this Sephiroth...
Bear witness to the reunion of worlds.
This Sephiroth feels like the same one...
Reunion.
...at the end of Remake. And then obviously the one that we see doing the deed and killing Aerith is Jenova, and then does the transformation into, what was it, Life Klinger? And then we've got this, we've got Cloud seeing his potential future of the degradation, being a black robe.
How very stubborn of you. Perhaps you need a little push.
The fun part is...
my blessing.
What does he mean? Because the fun part is I could be super wrong in my interpretations of everything as well. That's why it's fun. We only have 2 out of 3 pieces of the puzzle. We're just trying to see where things could potentially be going, you know? Sephiroth gives us his blessing. And now we've landed in, like, our intended destination.
Where am I?
That doesn't belong here. Very poor form.
Because Sephiroth has worked hard to not have it be in this timeline, because it's obviously counteractive to his plans. Now we fight the Whispers again, dude. It's still like this weird dream. I love that we are like having like a dream fight while we're in the the sleeping forest. It's kind of great. Because it's playing that 7 seconds till the end music. That and then the White Whispers shift the environment. from Sephiroth's little corrupted reality to
We meet again.
Aerith.
You're okay. Sephiroth's here. I can feel him, watching us.
Yeah. But forget about him for now. Just focus on yourself, okay?
But I'm fine.
Focus on you, Cloud. The one I've been trying to find. The real you.
Huh?
Leave Sephiroth to me. I can handle him. He's planning to use the black materia, but I won't let that happen. He has to be stopped by a Cetra. And I'm the last.
And we give it to her. There you go. So she's got it. Restored.
Thanks for returning it to me, Cloud. I appreciate it. But now, it belongs with you.
It looks empty. Aerith? Aerith! Aerith! Come back!
I love how much of a dream this is, where you're like trying to chase after someone, but you're going really slow and you're like prevented in getting to your destination. And that just manifests in the whispers instead. This is the time where the crawling mechanic actually works and doesn't ruin the momentum like it does in Nibelheim. It works in a dreamlike setting. And look at us traveling through the live stream. This is us getting down to the... This is us falling down to the bottom. Cloud protected Aerith. And Cloud's going through it right now. And it does make a lot of sense for what they've chosen to do here, to go from Temple of the Ancients right up with Aerith to proceed and push into the Sleeping Forest, because in the original, the Temple of the Ancients is more south, and then they wake up in Gongaga, because that's close by, the temple, so they actually move up to their closest resting point. It would be completely illogical for them to go from the temple to Gongaga, then back up again, you know? So it actually works within the context of this, and that's probably why they decided to move the temple.
Are you there?
Because you can just go straight from temple to Sleeping Forest to city.
Aerith! Hey, Aerith!
Hey, hold up. Cloud!
Cloud!
This group needs to slap more shit into Cloud. They're just like... He was being so weird throughout all of Temple of the Ancients.
Mako poisoning or the degradation. but I thought you were done for.
Sorry to disappoint.
Well, you can thank me for the ride later. Gotta find Aerith first.
She told us that an ancient city lies just beyond these woods, and that the Cetra built a very special altar there. That's where she's headed, I'm sure of it.
Problem is, Sephiroth stole the black materia, meaning he could destroy the entire planet any minute. And Aerith said she's the only one who can stop him.
Where is this place?
No one knows but her.
We got separated in the fog, and she's out there, all alone.
Then we'd better hurry. That way.
And how can you be so sure?
Sometimes you just know.
Very good choice of...
I heard something from Aerith.
Very good choice. The music here, because it does the... There's 2 tracks in the original soundtrack, and it's Who Are You and Who Am I? And I love that they're doing that. It's very cool. And again, it makes sense why the City of the Ancients theme is in the temple. Because they still give it to us, because I'm sure they would have played it if they let us walk around and explore the city, but because it goes straight into like the end game seriousness, you're straight into the action. We'll have to mess with our materia at some point, but we've got the assess on, so I can assess the whispers properly this time.
Sephiroth kicked the ever-living crap out of you back in the Temple of the Ancients.
You heard wrong. Didn't go down like that.
Okay. Then how exactly did he get the materia from you?
This is interesting,
You
right?
don't always
Because
have to play the badass, you know.
didn't they all
Right,
see?
Fine. You win. He beat the shit out of me and took the materia.
Because they were on that little branch and all the people were back there, but maybe it was like far away enough that they didn't actually see exactly what happened. But it's crazy to witness the manipulation and the hold that Jenova has on Cloud there, in that sort of how willing he is to, like, and how much of a puppet he is to hand over that black materia. Like, did I do good, Sephiroth? You know, like that obsession, and how much of a grip he has to just Jenova as Sephiroth to just be like, if she won't give it to us, we have to take it, you know. And because Cloud isn't doing it as much as they're trying to get him to do it, he's got to do it himself.
It's my fault.
It's kind of mine too. I should have been there for you, but I wasn't.
I love the look of the sleeping forest, by the way.
Judging by the way your eyes were twitching.
Don't know if I'd call it a dream.
Either way, something happened to you, didn't it?
Yeah. Got sent to another world. Apparently, there's at least a few more than one.
Is that right?
I'd explain, but don't think I can.
It's alright. Doubt I'd want to hear it anyway.
Something that's quite sad is seeing the rift between Cloud and Barret that's very clearly forming, because there's a lot riding on this, you know? And while you had your moment of Cloud being like, hey man, we're here for you with the Dyne situation, Cloud keeps going further and further down this line where Barrett's like, who the hell is this kid? He keeps losing it all the time, and then Cloud's just spouting this nonsense to him, and he's just like, eh, you know? He's focused on other things, but you can tell that Barret is getting more and more tired and sick of Cloud's shit. Especially in the ending cutscene where you can tell he doesn't trust Cloud and he feels iffy about the whole thing, but he's like, alright, I guess we trust you, but like, we got a lot riding on this, man. I'm so excited to see how they handle all of the character relationships for part 3, because Barret has been like the heart of the whole group.
It's me, or is there something weird?
And then Tifa doesn't even talk to him after that in the ending cutscene. It's crazy.
Too? The whispers?
Yeah.
I'm afraid to say it, but if the whispers control fate, then Does that mean we were destined to be separated from Aerith?
Maybe.
Why'd I have to open my mouth?
Yeah, but the whispers are being controlled now. The white whispers that are controlling and dictating the true fate,
Cloud,
and
honestly,
Sephiroth's ones.
If you start feeling sick or thinking weird thoughts, you'll let us know, okay?
Thoughts like...
For example, stuff like thinking I'm not the real me.
Sorry.
You don't have to apologize, but I do want you to talk. To me, or someone at least.
Alright. I can do that.
Except for the fact that Cloud doesn't know when he's feeling things like that.
Cloud? I've apologised to everyone else, but not to you, so... I'm sorry for giving the keystone to Shinra. I truly am. I just thought that, since it was so dangerous, I'd rather something happened to one of them than to one of you.
No need to explain yourself.
You're a good man, Cloud. I don't deserve your forgiveness.
Oh, I'm still pretty pissed. Just got bigger fish to fry.
Right, that makes sense. Still, I'll do what I can to help, and we'll fry those fish together.
I'm a little bit sad that because there's this situation where Kate Sith leaves the group after chapter 12, there's parts of the story that you can't do with him in your party. Like, you can't do, because it opens up with the other proto-relic stuff, which in turn then opens up the Gilgamesh Island thing that we haven't done yet. I don't know if replaying the game allows you to have your full party or not, because I haven't gotten there yet. But I'd expect for replaying story purposes that we don't, which is a bit of a shame, because I'd love to be able to use Kate Sith at any point in the story, but him missing for a whole chapter for chapter 13, you definitely feel it. And I know that it works in the sense of the story, but it's just like, god damn it, I want to have my boy with me. So there you go, you can kind of get this this look here. You've got northward, goes to Temple of the Ancients, and then through there you can then push on to the Sleeping Forest, and then here, whereas it used to be where this would have been, it would be Bone Village, and then the Sleeping Forest, and then the city. And in the original as well, but with the black materia, like the temple was the black materia. That was the situation, and you had to like figure out the puzzle, and like the temple would then collapse in on itself. So anyone who was in the temple to retrieve the black materia would not be able to survive to get it. And I kind of liked that element about the temple. It was very clever, but very different this time. Instead, the temple was hidden with the keystone. I wish we could walk around here so badly, dude, you know? I want to just explore it calmly and peacefully as the City of the Ancients music plays.
The grand metropolis, where the ancients once gathered to pray, thought lost to time. Until today.
It is a good choice for them to do the Promised Land music, though.
This is it, right?
You know, I think it is. Yeah, Gramps told me all about it when I was growing up. He called it the Forgotten Capital. Said it was the heart of Cetran civilization, but I never thought I'd see it.
And this place screams fancy altar. Aerith's gotta be here.
Well then, let's go get our girl. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say those assholes are fixing to get in our way again.
Look at them, though.
Yeah. They're different. Don't belong to fate or the planet. They belong to Sephiroth.
I'm waiting, Cloud.
Now this is really curious because you can see that they've done this intentionally, right? Oh, you can't go photo mode in the proper cutscene? Goddamn, that sucks. This is bizarre because it's definitely intentional because they have no issue creating these brand new, beautifully animated cutscenes, but they have very intentionally used the same shots from the previous game in certain ways in that ending because they're poetically referencing it in a new environment. Like you can see that the shot of Red 13 is the same, there's certain shots of the group that is the same, and how Sephiroth appears, like this shot, but then you've, like that shot is the same, this shot is the same, but then you've got like the new characters added in, this shot is the same. Like the meteor appears and he like absorbs it all, and here he is, and whadam. That shot's the same. But then there's new stuff here too, like how he's looking at the city of the ancients.
Pray.
Instead of making Midgar look very Advent children-y. And he does that hand lift before to like lift the train up.
It's upon us. The reunion. When worlds merge. When spite and sorrow are harvested to feed the planet.
So all of this spite and sorrow and loss, he's saying it feeds the planet. It doesn't matter if there's joy or happiness or like saving Aerith, for example, because of this reunion aspect of all of this sorrow and sadness that's here. It allows Sephiroth to still manipulate things the way that he wants it to, so that Aerith still dies. So now Cloud has to navigate through an already fucked up version of the city instead of the nice peaceful one from the original. Oh, if only we could have explored this place normally.
Right. I don't know, but they sure don't like us.
Because we return here in part 3 with Bugenhagen and you do a whole thing, you know? I'm trying to find the area where that would be. But I guess there's a lot more to this place that we haven't seen yet as well. Especially over the other side.
Heads up!
Let's assess our whispers. A unique arbiter of fate that opposes all who attempt to defy the inevitable, intrinsically connected to the planet's destiny across all of time and space. So we read this before, we just couldn't actually see the yellow text. But, yeah, these white ones are new to Rebirth, but they're the ones that are like, any attempt to defy the inevitable. All of time and space. Oh yeah, and when 3 or more whispers are on the field, they will conjure a ward and apply various buffs and debuffs to the party. After they conjure a ward, or when only 2 whispers remain, their cores will glow red and they'll become pressured. So we're seeing their ward and the pressuring.
Don't overdo it.
All set. Heads up. Ha, there. You're up.
My turn. You're done. Sorry.
There.
Deal with that.
I got this. Watch yourself.
About damn time! Bring it home!
I got this.
Oh yeah! I've been waiting for this!
Don't overdo it.
You're up.
Need my help, do you?
Hang back. Time to get serious. Let's switch it up. Feeling good.
Come on.
Guess it's my turn.
I got this.
Won't be nothing left to put out.
It's on now. Sloppy. You're as good as dead.
Bring it.
I'll be damned. It's like we're back on the express.
Yeah, because this is... So we've got Barrett being like, it's like we're back on the expressway, and then he goes, no, I know what to do, you know? When he's like trying to mimic the events of it, being like, I'll be on my way home soon, honey. But like, the portal isn't there like it was in Remake.
Magic words. Daddy's coming home real soon, honey.
That's not how it works.
No thanks. I'm good.
Everyone could have gone in there together, guys.
She needs you. Go.
I do wish that the whole party could be there like it was in the original, when they're like calling out to him when he's kind of like freaking out. Or at least the two party members you have with you. Like if you got Sid, he's like, what the hell are you doing, man? Why are you swinging your sword around at Aerith like that? But we only get to go in with Cloud. Whenever everyone else doesn't get to witness what's about to go down. Now, having at least an awareness of what's going to be happening in the upcoming fights, I prepared everybody, like, to stand relatively good on their own, but now knowing all of the ways that the characters will be included across multiple fights, I'll probably give them a few more things. Little more elemental openings, because it took me a long time to witness the wings on Bizarro Sephiroth being like elemental and being able to target those. Of course they change color and it's really obvious now when you look at it, but when I was like in the fight itself, I was so overwhelmed with just sheer hype that you're fighting and surviving as best you can, but you're just trying to take everything in and feel it. You're not really able to think strategically and objectively with 100% of your brain capacity, because I'm just so absolutely enamored by what they're throwing at me. So I'll give them what we have while assemble our group, and then we're gonna get into these fights again. Alright, it's time to play the game. Let's go. This time I'm going to press the triggers when we're holding the sword up. Because last time I was like, I'm not even going to entertain it. I'm like, no. I'm defying destiny. So it's really interesting that I was able to just leave it alone. This time we'll actually see what happens.
O planet and its faithful stewards, please, lend me your strength. I know I'm doing this wrong. Mom never taught me how to pray, and as the last living Setra, I may never learn.
Meanwhile, both the dark and light whispers are pushing us away and surrounding us. Timelines, the worlds converging. There's both something that is meant to happen and not meant to happen here.
So please, tell me how to do that. I'm begging.
How do we accurately time the 7 seconds till the end and wonder if that is what's happening here? The dark whispers imbue themselves in the blade, trying to force the situation to happen. Instead of it being like Sephiroth manipulating his body. Oh, so you gotta like mash them. Okay, so it's like he's lowering the blade. And if you... Okay, and if you don't press it, it slowly starts to go up again, so you're trying to, like, not do it. This is like the 7 seconds. And in this, like, last second, Cloud makes, like, the split decision to defy destiny. Sephiroth's just smiling because he knows he wins no matter what. He's not surprised by this outcome. Straight insanity, dude. Timeline shift. And there's the blood. And it's like he's pulled the sword out of Aerith, covered in blood. And he's still got what he wanted. Such a crazy way to do it, because it's like he didn't actually impale her here. This game shows impalement in an inconsistent way, though. Like, we've seen Song and Barret both get impaled by Sephiroth, and now Aerith as well. And there's never an actual flesh wound. There's never a thing. And you see that Cloud is talking. There's like those specific shots where Cloud is talking and it's doing the staticky shifts the whole time because it's like the two timelines that have like overlapped over the top of each other. Sephiroth has been able to manipulate it, and it's doing both.
Don't weep.
Aerith will never smile, laugh, or cry. It's like that whole speech that he gives to Sephiroth. So instead he just cries and doesn't say anything here. But then then this is really interesting.
Cloud, it's okay.
Like, how do we interpret this? You know, because we've got, like, the life stream energy surrounding her, where it's like, because it's the timelines converging, there's like an Aerith that's alive and an Aerith that's dead here. It's like both happening sort of like simultaneously in the same way that Cloud is like speaking but not speaking at the same time. And so this in turn allows Cloud to sort of like compartmentalize the loss of Aerith and be like, oh, she's fine. Because she's alive here. She's embracing me. We fought alongside each other to fight Sephiroth, and then he goes to hold her and just goes, Aerith, wake up. And she opens her eyes because he has sort of like this connection or window to her, while it also being him unable to process the loss. It's like sort of all of it at once. It's hard to have a concrete answer because it feels like elements of both of those things.
Aerith.
Because it... From that point of view, that's showing what Barrett is seeing, and Barrett is seeing Aerith holding Cloud there, actually. So that's interesting. So she might still be alive here and not just, like, dead immediately like she was in the original. There's still a part of her that's, like, holding on before Jenova spawns in.
I'll kill you!
Eric!
But yeah, it's going between the blood and no blood. And her eyes are closed with the blood.
A confluence of worlds and emotions. Loss chief among them. It engulfs fleeting moments of joy, transforming them into rage, sadness, hatred.
So because of this reunion and everything here, he was able to transform a moment of joy into one of sadness. See, her eyes are open, but only to Cloud.
I got this.
And there's no blood, but to everyone else, she's got blood on her, blood on the ground, and her eyes are closed. That's the key difference that we're seeing. Cloud is like experiencing it so differently. And then you've got like the white whispers, and then you've got this the white visual effects that happened.
Never see the truth with such.
When Cloud was pushed back into a different timeline. Like they're protecting her.
After all, you're just a puppet.
They were too scared to do Sephiroth's, you're just fly off into the sky, leaving us hanging. Instead, Jenova transforming the reality around us once again. God, dude. And it just throws you right into it. Right into the fight. As it plays Aerith's theme, and such a beautiful version of it too. What a dark looking environment. Jenova, a life clinger, dude. The calamity from the stars that fell into a deep slumber after its conflict with the Cetra, newly awakened through the grace of black-robed sacrifice, it seeks to seep its way into the life stream and bring about the end. So it like awakens itself through a black-robed character every time. Also, this is actually really interesting to note here, is everyone's limit breaks are full except for Cloud's. Like everyone has this rage and the fury that has built up their limit breaks, but Cloud doesn't, because he's not feeling that loss and rage that everybody else is feeling with the loss of Aerith. because he's interpreting it completely differently. Everyone else has rage where he doesn't. It's goddamn. It's crazy how different that is.
Come on. Deal with that.
All set. Yes, you're up.
Hang back.
Still here.
Here it comes.
Cloud doesn't have any attacking ones, does he?
It's on you.
All right. Watch it burn. I'm counting on you.
Taking over.
Need my help, do you? Give them hell. Coming at you hard and fast. Let's go. What's the ball?
Try this. Gotta be careful.
Nope. All right. Watch it learn.
Oopsie.
Let's turn this around. Down on you.
Watch yourself.
Let's do this.
One more. This one right here is for the planet.
Oh, such a shame that it hits that limit, and they both put their limit breaks off.
You've done it before. You can do it again.
You've done it before, you can do it again. I guess it's referring to just the fact that we've faced Jenova before multiple times now.
Double time.
Time for the Jenova music to actually come in now. This transformation is so sick. Seeing the actual form.
Yeah.
This is great. And then look at that, dude. That's horrifying. Like, the eyes, dude. That is, that's horrible. That is horrible. No, thank you.
Stay strong.
Of course. Don't overdo it.
Bring it home.
Let's go.
And, like, look at this design, man. If the body doesn't want to disappear on me. Such a crazy environment. Why won't you guys do your thing?
Taking over. Take the lead.
All set. You're up.
My turn. Bring it.
Bringing the heat.
Focus.
able to do Infinity's End in time, sadly. So here we go. Now it was split and the party was separated. I love how it includes the full party in a sequence like this.
You good? Better than that thing's gonna be in a few minutes. Got that right. All together, man. Gonna feel this one. You wouldn't be mind, would you? Let's go. So we screw up.
So it seems to be the same teams both times, which is pretty sick.
Hasn't been boring.
You can say that again. It's been a real trip. Do me proud.
I got this. I'm through with you.
Do you think this is funny? Now what's that? Run all right. I'm back down. No way! Come on!
Be careful.
Jesus.
Why is it always gonna be me? Wow!
Right, now if you can do Inexorable End.
Time to bring my full ninja might to bear!
Nice.
That shit out of here!
It's so good how they all finish off Jenova together. This is so satisfying. Tifa using the ice, dude, to like slide down it is so sick.
Mind if we drop it? Because we thought we'd swing by.
Throwing Barrett and Cloud down. And all of the fucking moves, dude.
Ready?
Limit Break Trio is so sick. Doing all of their Braver, Big Shot, and Somersault. Okay, Cloud and Kate Sith. That's certainly a move.
The rest is up to us.
Can you help with that, Cloud?
Yeah. Let's finish this.
Go ahead, don't worry about it. Won't matter. Oh
My turn. It's on you. Come on.
Can you take the lead?
Taking over. Got this? Hold on.
Oh, I just realized because it carries on from where we finished. Because it carries on exactly from where we were before. That also includes the items that we used in the final fight, so we have less elixirs than we used to have too. Didn't think about that.
Hang back. Let's try that again.
Yeah.
Let's finish this.
Gotta do the finishing touch.
What now?
The White Whispers all healed us. Because it's like Aerith is there, and it's doing that same effect again. The white little rainbow. That's Aerith protecting. Because in Zack's fight against Bizarro Sephiroth, Aerith spawns that little shield bubble for him.
Hey, anybody there?
This is just crazy. Here's your little hint. Just a couple of whispers. Excuse me.
How about that? Well, nice to see you too.
Look at these two Buster Swords together. It's just so crazy to even like think about this. And like I was saying earlier, I definitely do prefer the original story of Zack staying dead because it's like that's such a crucial element of Cloud forming and constructing his whole personality about being Zack, because that Jenova cell infusion allows him to sort of mimic and take on that Zack persona to shake off all of his immense amounts of Marco poisoning. And then he remembers Zack when we're in Nibelheim, and then is like, oh, he's dead. Because he was that other guy that was with us. But we still haven't gotten to the Cloud and Tifa confrontation of, hey man, you were never in Nibelheim that day. Because they've still been kind of weird about it. Like, Cloud remembers. Tifa tells Aerith. Tifa then lies to Cloud that that she's told Aerith as well. Just been like, oh, it slipped my mind, you know, not the right time. But then Tifa's still trying to piece it out and figure out what's going on. And then Cloud and Tifa have their little moment of like, oh, you knew. And she was like, well, I didn't want to scare you, you know. So it's kind of like showing and throwing around these things early. But I guess they'll still do the situation where Sephiroth goes, hey man, you are not who you say you are. Like, it'll still do that. But I wonder if it'll have the same effect, because Cloud's like, you know, I know things that I have no right to know, and I forget things, or I don't know things that I should. He remembers Zack. He sees Zack with the Buster Sword, you know, but then like Cloud doesn't question why he has the Buster Sword, and that he was the one with the Buster Sword the whole time, you know? So he doesn't even question this, both of them fighting side by side with the same sword. I guess he doesn't even have time to process it, and then he's gone. I'm really curious how they'll do it in part 3, because initially Sephiroth goes, oh, he's just going to show this other dude that I don't know, you know, with the black hair. Some other guy's going to show up, you know. So Cloud has zero recollection or memory of the guy at all in the remake, in the original, until his mind shatters and Tifa has to put it back together again, and they go through his memories to prove that he really is Cloud and he's a real person and he's not just some sort of creation or a Sephiroth clone, you know, like a failed experiment. So it goes through this whole thing, and I feel like they'll do a similar thing, but I don't know if it'll be as impactful as they originally had it, you know. It is that sort of mentality of if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And they have done a lot of it ain't broke, but we're going to do something new with it sort of thing. So Cloud will instead probably get the Sephiroth manipulation, or like the truth reveal of Zack was in your place and you were like, maybe he'll say that he wasn't even there. Like, they'll still go for that angle. And it'll still have the same effect to push Cloud over the edge, because he's already immensely mentally unstable. So I guess we'll see. But he knows that he was there at Nibelheim. He knows that he's best friends with Zack. Zack and him have interacted, where Zack has even confirmed, like, let's save the catching up for later. Like, they know that they're buddies, you know? Whereas in the original, Cloud had no clue. And that is what threw him for a loop when he started to, like, doubt himself that he was just a complete fake. So it's just a big question mark about how they're going to handle it, especially having Cloud and Zack actually interact. Before this moment, I think it was still fine to really kind of work around things, because Cloud remembers Zack and then just thinks that he died. It's still iffy, but now that they've actually fought side by side and are aware of each other in this sense, it makes things so very different. Like, so very different. I know that we're at sort of the edge of reality here, but
pretty busy.
Fist bumps his way to the edge of creation.
be catching up for later.
It's such a hype fan service moment of having them both fight side by side. It does give concerns for the future. Do we expect Zack to show up again in part 3? I would assume so. And there we go, mimicking the original ending here and the ending of Remake with these angles and these shots.
Cloud, you ready for this? Yeah. All right. Follow my lead. Look at you taking charge. I like it.
That's so funny. Look at you taking charge.
What the hell happened to you? You were a soldier. How could you turn your back on everything we stand for? As long as you get what you want, who cares who gets hurt? Is that it? You really got it coming. Here we go.
Let me just do my Super Saiyan charge real quick while I'm over here.
Rage.
Oh, Advent Children, but with Zack. My little puppet.
Bring it. That's it. Try to deal with that. Let's bring it home. Great minds. We're not done.
Great minds. When they say the same thing, let's bring it home. God, dude. Soldier's honor. They fight together so well. It's so crazy, actually. It's pretty sick, dude. That's the thing, though. Like, it's the fan service.
It's on you. Bringing out the big guns. I got
So you get your quick little fight together because it's over very quickly.
So do they part?
You kind of want to drag the fight out a bit.
Cloud, save her!
Alone at last. Shall we?
They love doing that angle, and it works every time. Also, we were absolutely robbed of a Birth of a God track remix, dude. Look at this fucker. Dude. Again, just these shots are so crazy. Oh, man. That's the angle.
Don't care
My
how
God.
big you get. I'm not backing down. I'm finishing this. Come on.
Birth of a God has got to come in part 3. There's no way they don't give it to us. We need it.
Going all out. Enough of you.
Can you block the errant whisper one? I don't know. Not sure.
Come on.
Oh, so that's what that's what's supposed to happen. He's supposed to throw you all the way out. I'm trying to see more of what he does, but it seems to be a little bit more of the same. Cripple this small body. It's time for the rest of the crew to join in. Let's fuck up his head.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Birth of a God would have gotten so hard here. But it does make me wonder if they're saving it. It's just sort of this, like, instance of them, like, blowing their load early a little bit, because think back to Final Fantasy VII Remake. Like, we fight Sephiroth, and we get a one-winged angel piece of music, you know? And something that I personally wish that they did was holding back intentionally for Part 3, right? I wish that we had a different theme for Remake. The Jenova theme was great, they cooked hard. I mean, personally, I wish that we didn't even fight Sephiroth in Part 1, and I still wish that, because it does still feel like they blew their load too early and they kind of threw everything at you at the end of Remake, where your characters don't feel ready for that, like they're only just embarking on their journey. They feel much more ready after having explored more of the world together. This feels better. So I wish that they didn't do Sephiroth fight in Remake, and then they can do Birth of a God here and have that theme play, and then when you fight safer Sephiroth in Part 3, One-Winged Angel plays, and after 3 games of build-up through that story, you finally get the One-Winged Angel remix of your dreams. Instead, they keep throwing it at you, and it's no longer as special as it was when it's played in all 3 of the games, you know? Instead of it being like this tease or this lead-up, they could put elements of the theme in there to build up to it, but I just think that that payoff would be so grand to finally have One-Winged Angel come in. I mean, I'm really excited for what they do with the theme for the next part, because you know they're going to play it, but it just would have been great. A Sephiroth fight here with Birth of a God, and then safer Sephiroth with One-Winged Angel in Part 3. Because I find this music to be way too relaxed for what we're doing. And then we get a bit of build up here. This design is so sick, dude. So he still does like his sword abilities, which I think is awesome.
That's awesome.
Interred horror.
Bring it. Try it.
Yeah, because I think this music is quite relaxed, right? It's pretty chill, you know? We're having like this full-on fight against like the Birth of a God with this Sephiroth Reborn. Like, they even refer to it as Sephiroth Reborn, Birth of a God, but then the music's too chill, I think.
That it?
So he seems to just repeat these same moves. The Whispers.
Any sign?
Maybe the Whispers got him.
You think they took him somewhere?
Look out!
And out comes this Sephiroth through the tear, right? Because they've come back from the edge of creation now. And then is able to summon Bahamut Arisen as a whisper.
This one's for Aerith.
Okay.
This is bad!
Now we have a decent team and an idea about what's going on in relation to his elemental wings. About to get Giga Flared whether we want it or not. So Tifa's dead because I couldn't heal her in time. That Giga Flared charge up is unforgiving. Red 13 has the other revive materia, sadly.
Let me take care of those wings for you. Run like a chocobo. The wings are healing it. Aww, is that hurt? Time to pick up the other. You ready? Special shield. No more games. It's over. Get lost. You're gonna get what's coming to you. Fucking show us. Let's go.
Anyone else? What's the big last way?
You're up. Come on. Let's go. Get lost. Nope. Still here. Never come ninja out. Wanna beg for mercy?
You're gonna love this one.
How you like this? Good to go. I got
Okay, Bahamut Arisen defeated. Oh yeah, so now Zack gets his solo Bizarro Sephiroth fight too. And saved because he feels Aerith's presence. Sorry, man. I transported you to the end of the world.
What in the hell is going on?
Zack is just the audience who has no clue. He's just so disconnected to the rest of the event. He's like, if Zack is the people who have only played the remake games. He's like, what the hell is going on? I love this sync up though. This is pretty sick.
Embrace your dreams. And whatever happens, protect your honor as a soldier.
Let's settle this once and for all.
Aerith's little protective bubble, dude.
We're not done here. No stopping me now. Brace yourself.
Also, just being able to do fucking synergy ability together is crazy.
Nice move. Wow. On it.
Come on, get up.
Time to go all out. You're in for it now.
Oh yeah.
Brace yourself.
Just like the fact that, like, look at the meteor, dude. It's crazy. Cannot wait for Supernova. They did really well with the design for Bizarro Sephiroth. I mean, as expected, dude. Of course they're gonna nail it.
Gotcha. Safety first. Bringing out the big gun.
There's my meteor rain, dude. Unholy Gate. So Hell's Gate and Unholy Gate is different, and then fucking Remake.
Brace yourself.
Like, Remake as an actual thing is crazy.
On it. Going easy on you.
You just try to think about the what that means. Yeah, so anyway, I have a fucking ability called Remake.
This is gonna.
Don't look too far into that.
Yeah, you feel that?
Yuffie, Red 13, and Barrett now. That's a good combo, actually. Alright, time to go for the wings that are elementally infused.
He just rebuilt it himself.
Then we keep fighting.
Hey, let's not hear something pretty backed up.
Call me crazy, but it feels like someone's helping us.
Do you think it's
This is good because they're onto something in terms of who's helping them. Which is sick.
You need to chill.
Oh shit, that was supposed to be fire. I did that wrong. And red has fire. We can cripple these much faster this time.
We've got to take out the barrier.
It's those stupid wings.
We haven't even scratched it.
Sephiroth.
Why me? Take that. How you like this? At least put up a fight.
I love that it has this. This is from the original as well, that attack. A little bit different.
Let him
crazy how much faster this goes now.
Don't worry about it.
Took me way too long to realize. There we go. Made short work of it this time. Too busy just vibing, dude.
Hey there, jerkbait!
Nothing's gonna stop us.
Let's show it what we're made of.
I'm your one-stop club right now.
Oh, can we get the stagger before Heartless Angel? Probably not. There's the stagger.
Bring it home!
I'm your one-stop club right now. Just stop now. All right.
Guess it's my turn! Big, I'm counting on you!
He's coming in for Octo Slash again. Jesus Christ. Impressive.
Bring it home! You gotta be kidding me! He still ain't dead!
He be eating them whispers. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Darkness. And then he's back with Cloud and the Edge of Creation again.
Sephiroth!
Except with a friend this time. You see the rainbows and the white spirits. Because it's Aerith's time. The alternate timeline Aerith that was still saved because you see that she still has her headband done up.
End this. Together.
Because you see that her hair was done up, it was still fine, where Cloud intercepted the Hell's Gate and stopped it. And then the timeline shifts, her bandana comes undone, Holy falls out, and Aerith falls. But she's still all done up, because this is the one that lived.
I must admit, I underestimated you.
This is pretty crazy too. And then we get One-Winged Angel.
Thank you.
Thank me later. This ain't over.
Right. Okay, let's finish this.
I saw what you did back there. Cloud saving her. You fucker. I'll remove my stuff.
My turn. Let's do this shit, Ram. Then deal with that.
Here goes. This one's for you. It's your turn.
Take it or what do you think? Is any other dream? Just a fever dream.
I don't have...
That shit won't work on me. Not anymore.
I don't have magic ready to get the Whisper Cannon. Oh, I don't have any attacking spells on any of these two. How did I fuck that? How did I fuck that up? That's that. Damn it. I fucked up.
Enjoy the ride.
Damn it, dude.
You can do it.
My turn.
I won't be able to weaken Sephiroth
This one's for you.
and pressure him.
So it's my turn? One more shot!
Yeah, that sucks, dude.
It's your turn.
Hang back. Take the lead.
I'll take care of them. How can you want this, Sephiroth?
Be gone. Your part is played.
How can you want an eternity of loneliness?
Be gone, your part is played. How could you want an eternity of loneliness? That's so cool. See how he's made him immune, dude. I don't have enough elemental related things, which really sucks.
Here it comes!
That was there we go. I have to use the synergy ability to get what I want. Unfortunately.
Fine. Back to the plan. Keep it together.
Let's get serious. What the?
Hang back. It's on you.
So it's my turn?
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, we both died. Maybe this time I might be able to access the menu before the fight, but I don't think it lets you. Still can do the whole gauntlet up until Sephiroth, and then we died. Yeah, I don't think we can access the menu here, which really sucks. I fucked up! I was going, I shouldn't need elemental magic on my Aerith or Cloud, because the elemental magic really comes into play with Bizarro Sephiroth.
There you are.
To the point where I totally forgot that I need elemental magic to pressure his wing and his sword. Oopsie daisy. So I have to rely on synergy abilities and not getting smacked in the face with a stupid whisper cannon.
Let's end this. Together.
Let me access the menu and we'll be all good.
I must admit, I underestimated you.
I saw what you did back there, Cloud. Thank you.
Pay me later. This ain't over.
Right. Okay, let's finish this.
I'll take care of them.
What do you make of this?
Get him!
Is any of it real? Or is it all just a dream?
Don't even bother. That shit won't work on me. Not anymore. Gotcha.
Firebolt Blade might be my other option. Because it's a magically related elemental spell.
Take the lead.
I'm coming!
How can you want this, Sephiroth?
Be gone. Your part is played.
How can you want an eternity of loneliness?
Oh, dude, you would. As soon as I'm about to do the attack that could damage the sword. Okay, let's see.
This ends here.
Nope, that doesn't hurt it. Damn, that's fucking tragic.
Watch out for Hive. Can you take over for me?
Yeah, that does not do enough.
It's on you.
I'll take care of them. Don't worry. The planet... Why don't you lead the way?
Taking over. Double time. Fall.
Oh, this fucking whisper cannon, dude.
Stay strong, okay? And catch! Cloud,
On it.
try using it. This one's for you. 10 out of 10. You've got this.
My turn. You're gonna deal with that.
I'll show you what I can do.
Oh, he's gonna do it again. Okay.
It's your turn.
Taking over.
Let's end this, Cloud.
All right.
You gotta stagger at least.
Keep it up.
I can help too.
Let's dance, asshole.
This one's for you. Finish him off.
Leave it to me. Your end is nigh.
Oh, we got Cloud this time. Finally, Advent Children. He did it.
One more shot.
Hang back.
This one's for you.
Have fun. Take the lead.
I'll show you what I can do. You can do it.
My turn.
Get him.
Let me hear you wave. Gotta be careful. Ain't dead yet. Don't overdo it.
Sure. However I can help. Tagging out. Time for something special. Gotta dig deep.
It's on you.
Here goes. That's it. Cut. Can you take over for me?
Don't look away.
I'll help you through this.
Well, I'm getting hit by Masamune whether I like it or not. Maybe this attack, Giga Flare, will actually destroy the Masamune and prevent Octaslash. Is it well timed? It did damage.
Thanks.
It worked. Holy shit. Okay. The end is nigh. There you go, staggered. That timing, dude. That timing! Fuck you, Sephiroth! You asshole! There you go, dude. Ray of Judgment to finish. Defeated. Who needs elemental material anyway? I put myself at a huge disadvantage in this version. And then he goes, see you later, guys. I can't do this, actually. Bye. See you in part 3.
Why is he laughing?
Because he knows this isn't over.
He knows there's going to be Final Fantasy VII Part 3 Reborn. Return, maybe? Zack returns. Aerith returns. They can't use Reunion, which is so sad because it's literally the perfect subtitle, and they used it for Crisis Core. Why would they do that? Final Fantasy VII Reunion.
Ready?
Perfect. Maybe they'll just use it anyway, to be honest. Everybody's waiting. Go back home, Cloud. And she goes off through her live stream. That back-to-back Aerith and Cloud, just like Advent Children. When Cloud realizes what actually happened in the Forgotten Capital, instead of him just like failing to process the loss, that's gonna be crazy. I genuinely thought this was actually gonna be Zack's end here. How naive of me. I was like, this is what it takes to kill Zack.
We got him.
It takes a full-on meteor at the end of everything to kill Zack, you know? But he says goodbye for now.
So this is it, huh? Time to say goodbye. For now.
And then he's saved. Aerith saved him.
See ya!
See ya. And that way we can have Zack and Cloud talking and interacting in Advent Children. See, for Cloud, they just fought side by side.
Aerith. Wake up.
And on command, they're like, what's up? It's all in here. So he doesn't have to feel sad. He doesn't have to feel any loss or rage or sadness. He doesn't have to deliver that speech to Sephiroth. And the whole group is sitting here miserable. They've just done the water burial. And they're all just processing that loss. And Cloud is stone-faced. He's just sitting there like, I guess we're all just resting, huh? There's a very important thing about how we're perceiving Aerith here, because it's not just for Cloud. And I'll pinpoint the moment, because a lot of people have already caught on to it. So it's not just a figment of Cloud's imagination. This is the important thing. So how I was interpreting this originally definitely has some weight to it. Because I'm like, all right, Aerith is here by his side, very Advent Children-like. Like, they're able to still communicate. And she's also kind of able to be there for him in a way, because she's still trying to, she's like the real Cloud that I'm searching for, that I'm, in the little forest dream sequence.
Can't stay here forever. We'd best get moving.
Yep. Sounds good.
And then he is like, remembering the death. It does like this little timeline shift, and then right after that, Aerith is here. No, she's alive. She's fine. I can see her. And she's talking to me. But it's like a creepy version of Aerith's theme. So she's like, alright, let's go. He's happy, while everyone else is miserable. Damn, guys, we didn't get the Vincent glitch in this version, where he has his legs sticking out as he goes to say farewell to Aerith.
Tifa, come on.
What's really sad about this specifically as well is Tifa and Aerith's friendship, their bond is so much stronger in Remake and Rebirth than it ever was in the OG. Like, they are so close together, and the way that they talk with one another, and they sort of are opening up to one another about Aerith's things and Tifa's stuff with Cloud, and like the whole Cloud and Zack stuff. And they would always like high five each other and have such a great dynamic. Like, Tifa has like genuinely lost such an important part of herself here with losing Aerith. And you feel this way more. Her loss in the group feels quite significant when you're thinking about the character dynamics and the character relationships. It's tough to visually sort of still see Aerith here because of the way that it was handled in the original. Is she was just gone, and you felt that absence for the rest of the game, because she never showed up ever again, except for the very ending scene. The last image that you see in original Final Fantasy VII is Aerith's face coming up as the first shot of the game, and the last shot of the game is Aerith's face with the live stream around her. And it's such an incredible final shot showing that her prayer and her, what she did, her casting the white materia, the holy spell, it works, We also learn about that a lot earlier. We learn about that in this game. We're not actually supposed to know, but we are in this version, See, because Cloud looks to Aerith there when she's not actually there. You see his eyes. And this sucks because Cloud is not emotionally comforting anyone in this group, especially Tifa. They're just literally moving on. And Cloud's like, yep, let's just get out of here. Aerith's fine, guys. What are you guys talking about,
I have to admit, you were quite the man.
Who, me?
And then Glenn the Jenova bully appears once again.
I guess not. Anyway,
You haven't seen Viceroy Saruf, have you? He failed to show at an important event. Made us look like fools.
Maybe he wouldn't have, if you'd spent some money on that set.
Ah, you're probably right. Rich kids do like things just so.
So, the way that he delivers that line and how he's talking about Viceroy Saruf being a no-show, and he's never been seen before, and it's just, it feels very, like, on the nose that, like, is Saruf Rufus? You know? Is that what they're going for? It's not exactly, like, his name, but, like, rearranged, but is it, like, sort of, like, meant to be similar? You know, the way that he kind of goes, rich kids like things just so. Like, if he'd spent more money on the set, you know, maybe I would have been there. Like, because obviously stoking the flames of this war could help them in some way, but, like, the way that Rufus and Heidegger were talking about how the Wutai team, the Nibelheim team, were dealt with by Wutai, it's, like, seems to be, like, orchestrating the war. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out, because they're going to dive into Wutai and Yuffie's story and the war even more in part 3 for sure, which is going to be great because it'll bring Wutai into the story in such a main story element instead of it being like a side quest of the original game. I'm super excited to go to Wutai. But we're obviously not going to see Glenn show up anymore because he was just some whisper bully to be like taunt Rufus over stuff. But then he was delivering the speech on TV. So it's like Sephiroth is trying to distract Rufus with a war on Wutai. It's either like Rufus is aware of the situation and facilitating it, or he's just genuinely being distracted from his search for the Promised Land by Sephiroth and Jenova by just giving him this whole war as a distraction. I'm not really sure. I'm kind of split on how it could be interpreted. This one is very mysterious and confusing. It's one of the more confusing elements of the game and of the story, because initially Glenn shows up and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna have to fucking watch Ever Crisis. But then they spoil Ever Crisis for you anyway, and they like, so Glenn and his group, they all defect and become ex-soldiers and go to Wutai after their deployment to Redor Island. And then Rufus kills Glenn. So, there you go. Ever Crisis story, unnecessary. I did want to like witness the Ever Crisis stuff because it obviously has like young Sephiroth being the first soldier. And then the other 3 were just prototypes. They were just tests. Soldier 0. It's probably my least favorite element of this because it just feels so strange and confusing. There's like plenty of other ways they could have the war with Wutai kick back up or bring the plot line in. Like Rufus just shooting the cannon in general was enough to mobilize Wutai, really. But they got to have weird Jenova Glenova, if you will.
Still got results though, even without him. Resistance elements are more fired up.
Every time I see Glenn on screen, I just can't get over the fact that he's barefoot every time.
I'm on to you. This war is nothing but a ploy to distract me from Sephiroth.
See, because that's him saying that.
How very astute.
To distract me from Sephiroth, but then I'll just show up immediately as Sephiroth. Haha.
Regardless, the plan is already in motion.
Our promised land will become reality.
Our promised land will become reality.
By his son.
I want the real thing, not some imitation.
I love him saying an imitation is all you deserve.
Is all you deserve.
This is super creepy. The way that he just like spins around. Whee.
Back.
So weird.
Like old times.
So this was a black-robed figure that was never feeling the call of reunion and heading in a particular direction. He was just, I have been assigned to be Rufus's bully. I'm curious about what they're going to be doing with Rufus and the Shinra group in Part 3. Hojo we kind of know, but Rufus has this whole sort of thing going on, which is crazy. And then we go back to the weapons fighting against Sephiroth's whispers. But then, look at this. White materia, holy looking magic in the weapons. And I wonder if these weapons might play a part in waking up the actual big boy weapons that we know and love. Or whether they'll come into play where they normally do.
Nah, I couldn't have dreamt that.
Something that we know, at least here, is it's less end of the world where Zack is right now, because all of those flowers are good. They're not like falling apart, dying flowers like we've seen already. So did Zack get put into the Prime timeline? Is he with everybody but just in Midgar? Or is he in just another world that's persisting for longer? Who knows? But he's alive. Is he going to be contained to his own reality? Probably not. I expect that he will play a part in finishing everything in Part 3. Maybe Zack and Aerith. Actually, instead of saying maybe, I'm going to say definitely we will have a Zack and Aerith team up instead of a Cloud and Aerith one. We'll have Zack and Aerith together from another timeline where they're both alive and happy, where they get to be together, and that's how it'll tie into Advent Children even more. Like, they'll be together. See? Everything's alright, is what Aerith will say.
It all felt way too real.
That's what I think is will happen in regards to Zack and Aerith. We'll have them fight together alongside the rest of the party.
Unite, so too do they part. But who's to say they can't unite again?
Us! Stay in your lane, Zachary. And then Nibelheim the next day. Off they go. Time to go to the northern crater. Through the whirlwind maze. It's reunion time. Got the humming of the Final Fantasy theme, which is so good. Sid humming that just feels perfect.
Screw you, cat.
So we've got Cloud looking into his colorless white materia, and he sees this. Now this is the thing to think about and pay attention to, that shows that it's not just Cloud.
Nice catch.
But it's definitely like this aspect
do anyway?
of Aerith persisting. Becoming one with the planet, being part of the live stream, but also timelines. Because, yeah, you've got them talking about all life returns to the planet, all belong to her, you know, all of these worlds overlapping and converging on each other. It's a homecoming. They're all going back to the planet, and they're never really gone. And Aerith said that earlier. Like, it's weird thinking about how people aren't really gone when she came out of the Temple of the Ancients trial and we're talking with the whole group, because we're showing almost everyone's loss, like Sonon, Myrna, Tifa's father, all of that kind of stuff. And then Aerith giving her little people returning to the planet, then nobody's ever really gone speech. And then Aerith is here, but not here.
Yeah.
Cloud is just the one that's able to see her.
We are cleared for takeoff.
Like, she'll remain with the group in spirit,
It's not
And obviously she's
fair.
moving all around the place in a way that isn't natural, but this is the moment. This specific shot is Aerith pats Nanaki.
Aerith?
And he acknowledges that. He feels her. Because she's really there. It's not just Cloud's imagination and failing to process the loss. It's both. Cloud is just the one that's able to see because he's had this exposure to the other side. And so when he looks up, he sees the messed up world. Because look at the reflection in the white materia.
Yeah.
It's just the normal sun and the normal sky.
The hell?
Black materia, and he starts freaking out.
The reunion.
The reunion.
Hey, you coming or what?
Yeah. 1 sec.
That still freaks me the hell out. Like, what the fuck? Like, how can you just do that? He didn't put it in the materia slot.
You have to promise not to look up.
And then you look up, and then look at all that.
Don't look up.
Well, now I gotta look.
And that wasn't in the reflection of
Fine,
the white
but
materia.
don't let it get to you.
Don't let what get to me?
It's not real. Just an illusion. Now let's go get Sephiroth. He's hiding up north.
The rest of the group honestly need to be a lot more active in being like, man, you are crazy. Let's get you to a doctor. Like, let's have a look at that blood of yours. Because they're like, dude, it's a sunny day. Everything's great. What are you doing? They just be like, oh, this is a little weird. Mr. Degradation over here. And they just let it slide. I'm like, especially with the fact that Cloud made an attempt on Tifa's life.
North.
Trust me, he is. Soldier's intuition.
Oh, yeah? Better hope you're right.
Barra is so beautifully animated here. Like, all of the subtleties in his face and his eye movements are so impressive.
We got everything riding on this. And that's a load you'd best be ready to carry.
Do you see how he's like, he's almost like unwilling to look Cloud in the eye. He only looks at him briefly.
Don't worry about me. I can handle it.
And then he looks at Tifa instead. He can barely look Cloud in the eye, dude. And Tifa does not even talk to Cloud or acknowledge him here. This is a huge rift between them all right now. Cloud is being so fucking normal and chill.
You gonna be okay getting back?
And if I said I wasn't? Don't worry. It's like a second home.
I guess. But what if something happens?
Then I'll send up smoke.
Thanks. I'll keep an eye out.
I wonder where they are specifically
I'll put
in context of the world map.
into my prayers. I'll stop the meteor. And I'll leave the rest to you. Good luck.
This just feels weird to say, right? Because there's no threat of the meteor currently. Because Cloud has the black materia. He hasn't given it to Sephiroth. Like, no meteor has been cast. But she says that with obviously the knowledge that it's going to happen, and therefore giving Cloud that knowledge as well. It feels out of place to say it like this. Especially because we're not supposed to learn about it until much, much later. So her just being like, I'll stop the meteor that's definitely here and already coming, you know. We can't just have Aerith say, hey man, snap out of it. Throw that black materia in the bin. Destroy it. Cast it into the fire. You know? It's a bit of a weird line.
Aerith, I will stop Sephiroth. Trust me.
You promise?
Promise.
And then, no promises at journey's end. What a line. They're like, again, anything can happen. I'm trying to look at all of the crazy architecture around them, like the ruins. Because I don't think they're in the grasslands. They're just repairing the Bronco in a random field. Like, where did you get the parts from, Sid? Why aren't we in Rocket Town right now? No promises await at journey's end. So they do their little promise only to just go, ha ha ha, who knows? And then we get this beautiful song, which is such an incredible piece of music. And what was actually pointed out in regards to this song is they released a little video about it, talking about how this song, Aerith wrote it in regards to sort of her love and feelings for all of her friends and close family. You know, it's to everyone, you know? Everyone that she loves, which I think is so beautiful. So, different things to interpret and glean from this ending. But, like, I'm excited. I'm excited for what they'll do with Part 3. It just really does bring up those questions of, like, where are we starting in Part 3? Because what happens in the original is Aerith dies. We do the water funeral, her burial, and then we fall asleep in the City of the Ancients, and then we're like, so what now? And then Cloud's like, Sephiroth City's going north. And so they push past the City of the Ancients, they go into the next area, the Icicle area, the Gaia Cliffs, all of that stuff, snowboarding. And then we eventually find our way to the Whirlwind Maze and the Northern Crater. I think we will probably start off with Rocket Town. I just feel like that would work. Because they're repairing the tiny Bronco. I'm assuming Sid would have repaired or gotten the parts at Rocket Town. You know, it is weird that they're just repairing it in an open field, but I think it's just another way for them to not reference Rocket Town. Like, even if they just had the Bronco parked outside and you saw the rocket in the distance to, like, convey that they'd gone there. But, I don't know. It's tough to nail it down when they haven't shown us Rocket Town yet. But I reckon we'll see it towards the beginning. Then we'll go to the Whirlwind Maze. All of that lovely, crazy stuff will happen with Cloud's mental state. Then we've got the gang travel the world without Cloud. We'll get High Wind eventually. We'll have a Scarlet and Tifa slap fight. Cloud will give Sephiroth the black materia, the weapons will wake up. Return to Midgar, Medeal, all of that stuff, dude. It's crazy. Oh yeah, we didn't get to see Zangan again, so we don't actually know if he survived Nibelheim or not, because it did show Zangan outside of the town itself with survivors. So I don't really know if he survived or not, like if he helped people evacuate and got them out. But we didn't encounter him, so no idea. But perhaps he died at Sephiroth's hand after all. So excited to see Corneo, Scotch, and Koch and Wutai. That'll be crazy. Will they give us more deep ground stuff? Who knows? I think Caleb Pierce did a much better job as Zack in this game. He felt much more comfortable with the voice and the character, I think. It definitely felt good. Oh, it's just hard to, like, bring it all together and try and theory craft, you know, what's gonna happen. But basically, I've said what I have to say about the events in this game and with this ending and interpretations of it. And I feel pretty good with that, you know? With Remake, it was so different. I was like, let's see what everyone else is saying and talking about. And I feel pretty comfortable to avoid that this time and to just have my own thoughts and theories and see how that plays into part 3. But I'm sure I will learn everybody else's interpretations and how everybody views it. That's the fun stuff about art, is there is so many ways that you can interpret and decipher it and find different meanings, you know? But replaying the ending was much better in a way to actually observe what's going on instead of being completely mind blown and overwhelmed and you're just like having that emotional experience. Now you get to have a bit more of like a, you know, proper process of what's happening instead of just being like crazy. But thank you so very much for joining me for my re-ending where we do it again just to see what happens with how we just interpret certain scenes, picking up on certain dialogue pieces throughout the fight. Because, like, that's also something to really pay attention to as well, is the things that they say during the fight that are subtitled and the things that are not subtitled as well, that really gives a little bit more insight and understanding to these characters. Like in Remake, when they're fighting Sephiroth, in that first sequence, there's apparently a line where he's saying, the memories. Like when he's fighting the crew. Like, and that's like that total, yep, this is Sephiroth from the future, you know? It's crazy. But yeah, like I was saying last episode, in the original first time going through the ending, I'll be playing through this game on hard mode myself for sure, but I will still be doing more episodes with the content I haven't done yet. So I guess I will reload a specific chapter retaining my quest progress, and then I will go off and do those things. The Meridian Ocean Pirate Treasure, Gilgamesh Island, and do all the Chocobo racing. So we'll definitely make sure that we have all of that included. I'm not sure if there's any hard mode exclusive fights or anything like there was in Remake. I'll have to find that out. But even so, I haven't done my hard mode Remake fights either. So if you would be interested in seeing those, like fighting, I don't know what it's called. I can't remember what it's called in Remake. Basically like Proud Clod. It's its name in the original game that you fight on Disc 3. But if you'd like to see Remake hard mode fights like Vice, the super boss that I haven't attempted yet, I could certainly do an episode on that. And also, I think that they mentioned there would be some extra fighting stuff with like Zack and Sephiroth, but I'm not sure where or when that is, so I'll take a look for it and I'll see about recording that as well. Regardless, though, I hope you enjoyed this episode and me going through the story once again, just to just to see what I can get out of the ending. That's all I got. It's kind of like mentally exhausting to try and go big brain, right? I'm sure I will play this ending again once I go through it in hard mode, and I'll pick up on other things, and then even replaying the game in general, picking up on those earlier seeds that tie into this. And I eventually, when we're leading up to the release of Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 3, I will most likely replay Remake and Rebirth again, leading right into it, and it'll just be this full trilogy together, just having our brain locked in to what's going on. I wonder if they'll give us a Dirge of Cerberus reunion like they did with Crisis Core to go in between, and I wonder if they'll give us DLC. I don't know if they would or if they will, but we'll have to see. Basically, we got an introduction to Yuffie's character, and then it ties into what, she was doing during the events of the original game. If they were to give a DLC to Vincent or Sid or both, they could maybe do that, but I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, I could see DLC for both of those characters if they wanted to go that route, but honestly, if they just held off and included their backstories and everything necessary for them in Part 3, that would totally be fine as well, because it's going to be a big game. There is a lot for Part 3, but the good news is Remake and Rebirth and everything that they've built just strengthens their development time and the release for the third game. Like, Remake helped them establish the combat and the action and how they're going to actually have the game play and feel and all of that kind of stuff. And then Rebirth, they've built the world mostly, with other places still to come, but they've already got those locations established and how we interact with the world. Then they just got to figure out the high wind and the submarine and all of that, and having 2 other playable characters come in and all of that craziness. But I am so looking forward to the crazy reveals and what they're going to show us. Hopefully, it'll take a little less time if they don't do DLC, and because they've already built the world, instead of a 4-year turnaround time between Remake and Rebirth, could we see a 3-year turnaround time to make the 30th anniversary of Final Fantasy VII? It would be beautiful if so. But I wouldn't want them to rush that date just to get that date, you know what I mean? Like, I'd happily wait for them to deliver something that they feel super comfortable with instead of rushing to meet an anniversary, There's plenty more that they could do on an anniversary instead. But thank you so much for watching for this re-ending that I did. I hope you enjoyed it. If you watched it all the way for another 3-hour banger, I will probably take a small bit of a break, because as of recording this episode, only 12 episodes of the Let's Play are even public. I've recorded this well ahead of time. I've recorded this well ahead of time because this game has just had such a grip on me that I just haven't been able to put it down. And the only other game to do that on the channel was Final Fantasy VII Remake. I played that game, recorded so many episodes, just had the whole game done, posting out those episodes one at a time. So you can tell that this is my favorite, not only my favorite series, but my favorite game of all time, Final Fantasy VII, and then just these new stories between Remake and Rebirth just put such a smile on my face, and they give me a seemingly bottomless amount of energy to play through them, which is amazing. So yeah, that's like to give you some idea of how much I've played through this game at this point to get to my 121 hours. Is episode 12 is live on the channel at the time of recording this episode specifically, episode 36. So only 1/3 of the Let's Play has been published, just to give you an idea. But I'm looking forward to doing more Final Fantasy VII and Final Fantasy related content on the channel in general, and I hope you're looking forward to seeing it. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.